SiriusXM FC presents The Coaching Academy. Coaching advice from those on the touchline. Talking tactics, training, and fitness with the top professional and college coaches from around the country. Class is now in session. This is The Coaching Academy. Here's Glenn Crooks.
All right, well, hey, we got a lot of feedback from our ECNL Symposium panel discussion with Bertie James of Crossfire and the ECNL directors Christian Labors and Jason Cutney. But we've got more from the Aria in Vegas from a couple of weeks back. Among the presenters were James Kerr and Dr. Christina Fink. Kerr, the best-selling author of Legacy, with insight into the All Blacks, the New Zealand rugby team. It's really an amazing story about culture. Kerr also worked with Brendan Rodgers in Leicester City during the preseason this year, so we'll talk to him about that as well. And Dr. Fink is a sports psychologist. She previously worked with the Philadelphia Union, has her own practice now, and she's worked with professional soccer players, professional teams, national teams. Her son, a current member of LAFC, and Dr. Fink, a two-time Olympian in the high jump. So some interesting stuff ahead. Well, first up, I love this. You know, I was visiting Capelli Sport in New York City today and met Nik Penn. He's the executive director of Rush Soccer. So we had a good chat. He opened up his computer. You know, we were talking about some things, seeing some of their initiatives, and I thought, this is perfect. We need to share this. So I'm going to share with you now Nik Penn. Nik, it was good to meet you today. How you doing?
Yeah, doing wonderful. Nice to meet you soon, Glenn.
Thank you. And I know shortly you'll be on your way back west to rejoin your group there. So, look, I was intrigued by a number of things, but at the outset, the global footprint of Rush Soccer, I know you guys, I've never really studied it or looked at it that closely, but not only domestically but internationally. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we started out in Colorado Rush with Tim Schultz, who's the president and CEO of Rush, and we was being successful, winning some state titles, winning some national titles, and we started to expand across the country. Virginia Rush was first, then down to New Mexico. And then from that, we expanded across the world, so started humanitarian. We have some clubs in South Africa and Rwanda and Ghana and Gambia to start with. And it was pretty humanitarian. We'd send out some uniforms, some gently used gear, some coaching education stuff. And then from there, it blew up. And we're in 50 countries on 5 continents. With South America, Central America. We've got some stuff out in Asia. And Mumbai Rush is one of our bigger partners. And even some stuff in Europe now where we are working with those guys to collectively get our knowledges together and see if we can provide opportunities for European kids in American universities.
So on the humanitarian side, could you be more specific with the kinds of things that are going on there? And, I mean, Can people within the Rush Club and also outside of Rush Soccer assist in what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple of different programs. If we look internationally, we have clubs in as far as Sierra Leone and Cameroon and some of these underprivileged countries that don't have a lot. And so we have a program called REACH, which is the Rush Equipment Assisting Children. And we encourage all our players to bring this gently used gear, shin guards and balls. And we have a uniform give-back program. And then we either send them out to the clubs in those, or we take humanitarian trips. We call them our REACH trips. And we send kids out, and we spend a week or two in the African countries working with their kids, supporting them, and then giving them uniforms and gears to give them an opportunity to play a little bit. And then locally at home, I live in Colorado Springs, and we have a program called the Southeast Springs Soccer Initiative. It's a violence prevention program. And the Pikes Peak Rush Club in Colorado Springs donates their gently used gear and soccer balls and stuff to the kids that need it in our town. So it goes from, locally 10 miles down the road to halfway across the world. So it's a pretty awesome program.
So is it really evident? I mean, you were telling me stories today about how, and I think you were referring to maybe Ghanaian kids. I can't quite remember, but the story of how, they came to an event here in the States and one of the club teams that was playing against them, or maybe just observing, saw that they needed some things. How did that work?
Yeah, we have the Rush Fest, which is in Colorado. It's just a little Rush tournament for only U13 boys and girls Rush players, and we have lots of fun. And we brought a team from Belize City. We have a Belize Rush, and they came in and they played against the Kansas Rush U13 boys, and they realized they were sharing like shin guards. So each kid had one shin guard each, and when their subs would come on, they would switch shoes out and things. And it just seemed like these kids didn't have anything. With scholarships and come over there, they'd fundraised. It was through a community program. So the Kansas Rush kids, they took the trips to Dick's Sporting Goods, and each player bought a ball, some shoes, and some shin guards, and brought it back and donated it to the Belize boys. So when they went back to their home country, they had shoes and shin guards that they never had. So there was probably as much celebration and as many tears as well. It was pretty emotional to see the outreach from the kids from Kansas, just donating that stuff to the kids from Belize. So the love of the program, the love of soccer, and just the joining of the two communities was something to see for sure.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Executive Director Rush Soccer Nik Penn with us here on the Coaching Academy. What are some of the look? You've got your footprint is in over you have up to 50 clubs in the States, plus affiliates in 33 of the states. So, and I think wherever you go, you do see the Rush uniforms. So, I live in New Jersey. I see the one in the South, part of the DA. Talk about some of the methods that you think make what you're doing a little special.
Yeah, so the idea is, regardless if you're the elite player in the DA and the ECNL, sort of like Kendall and Colorado and New Jersey, as you said, or you're just a community program based in Arkansas or Alaska, we try and provide opportunities for all levels of kids. So we have some, we call it the Rush Select, which is an all-star program. Any guys that are out in the PDT in Phoenix this weekend will see we've got 6 teams out there, and they're our national all-star team. So we bring the best kids from all the clubs. They go to some ID camps and they get to go play and travel. And then some of these kids will go overseas to play internationally here again in the summer. And then we have an assistance program that actually I oversee. We have 8 areas of assistance. So if you're a club and you need help with marketing or revenue generation or fundraising or events, coaching, education, and then we have support staff to come in and help you. So your club runs independently. It's a Rush club. It's your own independent club. And then you have Rush Soccer as your support system to help. So whether it's setting up a disabled program, helping you with coaching education, or, getting your board of directors in line, which I know many of us need, they are opportunities that being part of Rush can give you. So it's a pretty unique way of doing things. It is soccer, but it's all parts of soccer, from coaching education all the way through to the humanitarian stuff like we talked about.
So Nick, whether it's clubs that you're partnered with or your other observations you've made, and look, you've coached, you've been an administrator, so you've seen a lot of things. But is there something that stands out on the club level where you can maybe make a general statement about what is the major deficiency in clubs as you see it? Is it the actual organization of it? Is it the quality of coaching? What is it to you?
You know what? I think the major one is a lack of a strategic plan. I know I've been a director of coaching. I've been a technical director. You spend half your time putting out fires. The parent complaint, the team that hasn't got enough players this weekend. So you get sort of caught up in the day-to-day. So actually having that long-term 3, 5, 10-year strategic plan to say, this is where we want to go, this is where we want to be. And then from that point, then if you're a Rush Soccer Club, we can really help you hone in and get working on those areas, whether it's you want to raise more money or you only want a high performance. It's okay if you only want one team in each age group and it's the very best. Or you want to be a community-based club and serve everybody. But you have to have that plan going forward. So, yes, you still have to put out the fires day to day, but you have a focus to get forward. And those clubs without that focus or that strategic plan end up spinning their wheels and not really progressing. So we try and get the clubs to say, hey, where do you want to go? What's your plan for the future? Where do you want to be? And now we can come in and help you, rather than just being the same thing you was 5 years ago because you don't have a plan to move forward.
Nik Penn, former technical director with Pikes Peak Soccer Club. So Pikes Peak, now the first thing I would think of is fitness. Make your team, make your teams run up.
6,500 feet helps. Yep.
So how would you utilize that?
In the past, the U.S. national teams have come into the Air Force Academy to train. So we do some stuff. We have Pikes Peak, America's Mountain, right there on our doorstep. We often the trail up there is called Bar Trail. So we always make the joke of it's training at the bar for the kids, being Bar Trail. We hike up and we get some pizza, and they do like a little restaurant halfway up. We have a fire, do some team building. But at the same time, we get a little bit of fitness work, and you see it when you go down to sea level, or teams come from out of state into the tournaments, whether it's the Denver Cup or the Rush Open that we have here in Denver. They're blowing a little bit, and our kids are still running hard. So for sure, it helps.
Nick, you when we met this morning, you were just showing me some things, and talk about that app that you use within the entire framework of Rush Soccer and how coaches can share their exercises, what they might be doing on a particular day, and how that can help you.
Yeah, so we have a relationship with Global Coach. There's an online session planning platform. You can do evaluations. It's a really, really powerful tool. Rafa Benitez was the one that originally set it up in Liverpool when he was there, and we've been able to get access to it. And, we pay for it like every other club does. But the way it works, we have our curriculum on that platform, so any club across the country can access our curriculum and our drills and our exercises. But in addition, each club has like a drive with it as well. So Washington Rush can put all of their ideas and curriculum on it that's based within the Rush way. And then individual coaches can Nik Penn can do my favorite dribbling drill, and I can put that on the app as well. And then everybody across the country gets access to all that information. So with 50 clubs and, we have 43,000 members right now. So you can say maybe 1,000 coaches are on there, putting their exercises on. So it's a big database of shared learning. And part of it, some of the clubs say, hey, right, once a week you do something out of the Rush curriculum, and then once a week you do something out of the club curriculum, and then, hey, we're all coaches, we've got our egos, and once a week we're going to do something that I feel is like my favourite drill that all the kids like to do, or my best exercise. So it's a really good sharing platform, and able to use the knowledge of all our coaches to just make everybody else better.
And what's it called again? Global what?
Global Coach is the name of the application.
And can you provide videos to show what happened, or is it written?
No, it's so you can have animation. So it's like a general session planner where you put the dots and the cones and everything, and then you can animate it pretty easily, and then you can combine videos with it. So many of our drills, and that's our plan moving forward. We've got some guys with some drones that we're using to take video of the exercises. So we have one of the Rush drills is called the 5v3 to goal. It's just probably lots of people have done it many times, but it embodies the Rush way of movement and attacking. And then we have the video that goes with it from the drone above that shows, this is how the exercise looks. And then within it, you coach your way, I coach my way, but we can use those exercises and visuals and animation to help everybody get better.
All right, Nick. Well, I'm going to let you scurry on to your gate and get your flight back to Colorado. Nice to meet you, and thanks for sharing, and I'm sure we'll do this again.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Glenn. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Nik Penn, the executive director of Rush Soccer. And when we return on the Coaching Academy, it's time for the best-selling author, speaker, coach. This was good. He was at the ECNL Symposium, recorded this a couple of weeks ago. James Kerr, who wrote Legacy, the unique insight into one of the most successful sport teams of all time, the All Blacks. You want to stay tuned for that. Next up on FC 157. FC 157. FC 157.